Hello everyone, welcome to my channel today. I'm gonna do what if deku was an mega pikmin. So let's get started, shall we? So, we start off in a forest where a small plant-like creature is born out of the ground, as many of them would be born some different to others. But one day, a couple of people found the small creatures and started to experiment on them, finding out that pickamins are 2.9 centimeters to 1.14 inches tall, can carry about 20 times their weight. Just like ants, the difference ones are red pigments have long thorn-like noses. They are also fireproof, have 1.5 times more strength than a normal pigment, and have great digging capabilities. Yellow pigment have yellow ears and have lighter bodies than the other pigment. Blue pigmen look like they have mouths, but are actually gills, because they, unlike the other, are amphibious and can survive on both land and water. And they are resistant to all water-based attack. Purple pigments are bulkier and larger than a normal pigment, and have 30 times more powerful attack than a normal pigment, but they move much slower because of it. White pigments are smaller than normal pigment and have red eyes, allowing them to have keen sight and dig up buried treasure, and they have poison resistance, and they are poisonous themselves, with poison strong enough to kill a person. One of their researcher ate one without knowledge of it. Rock pigments are rock-looking pigment instead of a plant-looking one, but it still has a stem on its head, just like the other pigment. Pink pigments have wings and large heads, but big blue eyes, and they can fly. All of them taste amazing, but they didn't want any more of the small innocent creatures. But the knowledge of them got out, but some people wanted to hurt them. The researchers didn't want that. And the new species been found and named pikmin. They are cute small, but also delicious. They are new and under protection of the law for now. As the years would go on, one day some people were attacking the pigments, trying to kill all of them, as a shadow boy would look at the man, hurting him so hardly he could no longer walk. As the man went to the hospital, as the shadowy boy would walk into the shadows once more, as the government would find out there was a protector of the pigments. The kid out in the forest would go, the people would see the kid going out to the forest looking for him. They didn't know Izuku and the pigments weren't going to let that happen. In Pikmin, another fool walks into our forest, hoped to capture me. As the search party tried finding Izuku, as one started to say, "Huh, where's that brat? He shouldn't be in the forest at this time of night." As the other researchers and search party told him, "There's no way to make him want to talk to us." As the first guy apologizes, meanwhile, Izuku and several of the Pikmins were spying on the men, and one of the random heroes In the shadows, not understanding the language they were speaking, Zuko was going to pull some pranks on them, using his powers over plants and the ground. Suddenly, a purple pikmin fell off a tree branch and gave one of the heroes a concussion. Without all of the rest knowing it, Izuku started to pick them off one by one. Izuku in Pikmin, you are so clumsy, you know that. The purple chubby flower creature just gave Izuku a happy face as Izuku sighed. Some of the Pikmin tried to steal the stuff of the hero's pockets, but Izuku didn't like that idea and commanded the Pikmin to put the stuff back. But Izuku was thinking of how could he make it more fun to mess with them, as he would start running from tree to tree without the shadows making outside the shadows, making it look like there were more than one kid in the forest. That looks like that, as the heroes and the rescue team would see ghost-like boys running from tree to tree. Look, there he is, one hero said, as another said, no, there he is, as the heroes knew all around them, telling them, the rescue team, we're surrounded. We're all surrounded. Just as the hero said that, Izuku except one turns into glowing pygmy dots flying around them. The real Izuku jumped down, landed safely, and rescuer looks at him. Izuku turned into fog, going around them. When Pikmin swarmed them, they could hear some strange sound from the fog. As the hero said, what the hell? As Izuku used his fog to carry them out of the forest, where they were left. Outside the forest, seeing the fog go back into it, disappearing as they think, we need Nezu's help. But the group of girls got lost in the forest one day. The Pikmin, a green-haired girl, started saying, look, it's the freaks of nature, as all the others looked and said, isn't that the Pikmin that we have heard about? As some of the girls started to play with them, having a nice time, as Ibarra would have seen a green ghost-like looking at her with hatred because of what she had said. You guys, there's a ghost figure looking at us. As the others would look where she was pointing. What do you mean? There's nothing there. As Ibarra would feel Izuku around her. And she would just say, I'm leaving, this is freaking me out. As some of the girls would follow her. But when they looked at the Pikmin, they would see Izuku waving to them, saying something as some of the pink Pikmin would fly towards and help them out of the forest without any problems. A couple of months passed and Nezu and All Might, Eraserhead, Midnight and Snipe went into the forest and found Izuku, but they weren't ready to find Izuku, but they weren't ready to see what they would see. As they walked into clearing, seeing all the Pikmins walking around having fun, and the place is beautiful, like a masterpiece of a famous artist. Wow, this is actually pretty peaceful, Aizawa said. It really is. I suggest we talk to them. If they know where the boy is, it shouldn't hurt to play with him a little as well. As all All Might would lift up a purple pikmin trying to poke it, as the pikmin would smack All Might and off, hands off, with a lot of force, looking like it had one for all. Almost as Nessa would think, guess we have to be friendly, have friendly relations with them. One of them is almost stronger than All Might, and there's an army of them, as Midnight used her quirk near some of them. It didn't work. She would be thinking maybe they can't fall asleep like humans, but it didn't stop them from playing with the Pikmin, as 2 hours would 2 hours, you could see a lot of purple Pikmin lifting All Might and walking around with him for fun, as Nessa was trying to inform them of how to speak or understand things, while Midnight was around the pink and yellow Pikmin, because they were so cute, while Aizawa would be sleeping with a lot of white Pikmins. Sniper would look around still on the fence about the little creatures and trying to find the boy, as Suzuki would be in the middle of all of them, without their knowledge. As an hour, for knowledge for an hour, I believe I've told you more than enough. Where is the boy? Nesu said, as one as the Pikmin would point, well, as he would hold up a picture of Izuku so the Pikmin would understand, it would point at Izuku in the middle of the clearing, as Nessa would wonder, how long has he been there? Nessa would walk up to Izuku and say, hello, my name is Nesu, principal of UA school, high school, and what's your name? And Izuku would be confused, with a confused look on his face, picking up Nesu, looking at him, sniffing him, trying to figure out what he is. Izuku would speak in an unknown language, which Nesu had heard from the Pikmin, and could understand a little of it. What are you, and why are you in our forest? As Nessa would understand what you and why forest. As Nesu said, oh, here, a book. I'll tell you with your language skills. I'm helping you with your language skills. And I'm a chimera. Why we are in the forest is to find you. As Izuku got from that, learn language, and for you. Izuku commanded the Pikmin to be near him in case anything bad went if anything went bad. As all the teachers finally noticed him. If not, all the Pikmin were near Izuku. Nesu counted literally like little under 1,500,000 Pikmin and was shocked, along with all the other teachers, thinking you would be able to destroy a city with all of them, while Nesu was thinking, at least they aren't an endangered species, as All Might would say. So Nesu, what do you think we should do? Obviously, he is not leaving all these Pikmin behind, and if we try to separate them, we could be mauled, as Nessa would think of an idea, saying, a greenhouse, maybe a part of the forest of UA would work. As Izuku was told by Nessa to follow them, as they walked out of the forest, and all of the Pikmin followed them. through the city on their way to UA. As Izuku at UA was told he can have the forest at UA to live in for now, while Nessa was planning on making a greenhouse for them, all to live in, as well as a place for students to relax and spend time. And you guys might wonder why he's gonna get that. It's so the Pikmin don't die during the winter, or during the storms, or during the weather that shouldn't be there. As time passed a month after they moved, since Izuku and a few Pikmin learned more of the world and how to speak, they were given a greenhouse to live in, with sunlight and some lamps during the night, or winter to keep them warm so they wouldn't die. But ever since Izuku moved to UA, there was talk about a ghost in school, and Izuku did not know what ghosts are. Out of curiosity, he went to Nesu. Sir, might I have some of your time? As Nesu looked at Izuku saying, "What's the matter, ghost boy?" As Izuku said, "That's it. I don't understand what a ghost is." With Nesu's disbelief, he tried to explain what a ghost are without scaring Izuku. As he did. "Oh, so that's why everyone calls me a ghost boy. And since we are on the topic, can we call me something other than Ghost Boy?" As Izuku would look at Izuku, saying, "Do you have a name that we can use?" As Izuku said, "No, sir, I don't." As Nessa would say, "For now we will stick with Ghost Boy, okay?" As Izuku agrees to leave the room. As Izuku headed back to UA Forest, he bumped into an old lady with a syringe in her hair, her ponytail up. "Why, hello there, dear. Who may you be?" asked the lady, as she was not kept in the loop. "I don't have a name. Everyone calls me Ghost Boy." As the lady looked at Izuku, saying, "Okay, young boy, young man. Do you want some candy?" With a handful of candy, Izuku would try it and say, "This is the most amazing thing ever. Thank you." Izuku shared the candy with some of the Pikmin, which shocked the lady, saying, "Is it safe for them to eat that?" Izuku replied that it depends on the Pikmin's mood. Sometimes Some time would pass on as Izuku was exploring the city to figure out more about the humans, as he would find a place where some ghosts were surrounded. The same ghosts from the forest. Confronting the girl, he shouted out. Confronting the girls, he shouted out, "What's going on here?" As the girls turned around, looking at Izuku, not knowing who he was, while on the other hand, Izuku was looking at one of the girls in particular, a green-haired girl, as green as grass and sharp like thorns, with a cross necklace on Izuku. Izuku remembered the girl that called the Pikmin's freaks of natures. That same girl was beaten and maimed by her own friends, no less. Although Izuku was mad at the girl, yes, she did deserve to be beaten. Izuku knew that better than anyone. "What did she do to you?" Izuku said out loud, and some of the girls giggled and say, this wine freak is all about God's plan and how we are sinners. And to Izuku, he just saw villains in the making right in front of them. He attacked and the other to rescue the wine girl, who passed out due to whiplash from being beaten. As the girl was saved, Izuku instinctively ran to the old lady because of the gut feeling that she might help the girl. After half an hour of running, we found her office and kicked down the door, scaring the old lady. Oh dear, who could... Oh, set her down on the bed. Oh dear, what happened? Asked the lady, as Izuku would tell her that all that happened, and asked the lady to help the girl. As after Ibarra woke up, she would see a ghost-like creature from the forest. It's the... Ah, it's the evil spirit here to take my soul and bring me down to the underworld, as the old lady would say. Is that any way to speak to the person that saved you? As Ibarra would come to her senses and the ghost turned into Izuku. Who are you? Asked the vine-haired woman. As Izuku would look at her saying, I don't have a name, but I do have a nickname, and it's Ghost Boy. Ibarra would look at him and asked, Why are you the boy from the forest? Izuku replied with, Yes, and you're the girl that called the pikmins that guard freaks of nature. As Ibarra looked at Izuku saying, I'm sorry, the pikmins are plant-like animals and it don't make sense why they even exist. As Izuku would look at her, saying, That's just an excuse, not a reason. As Ibarra would look down with sad eyes when Izuku said, I guess I can let you slide and forgive you, but you can't just call something a freak just because it's not natural. Just think before you say stuff like that. You need to know if they are stronger than you. No, you never know if they're stronger than you or not. As the old lady cleared her throat. So, how about you head back to the UA greenhouse there? I bet the pikmin are waiting for you to return home. Zuki goes into the greenhouse, falling asleep with Pikmin. He has a dream of a young blonde with an attitude. Look on his face, at his, looking at Izuku saying, Hey, hey, what's your quirk? Because look at mine, as the kid would use his explosions. As the scene changed, boy, nerd! Wanna hang out later? I heard your mom wouldn't come home until late. Again. As Izuku would say, I'm sorry, Kachan. I'm gonna go home to study. As the scene would change again, as Izuku and the kid was walking down the road. Boy, Deku, say, if you had any dream except for being a hero, what would you want to do? To want to be? As Izuku would say, protector, someone who needs me, to protect someone who needs me. As the scene changed for the last time, Izuku would see fire all around him, destroyed buildings, and Bakugo trying to save him, saying, I'm sorry, Kachan. I guess this is goodbye. As Izuku's eyes got blurry, as he would hear, Izuku! Izuku, stay with me! Come on, Izuku! As Izuku woke up, and was confused, and the pigmin tried to calm him down. And this is the end of chapter 1. I hope you all have enjoyed. Hit the like and subscribe button if you like this shit. Otherwise, just shut the fuck up. Goodbye, everyone.